And you're listening to Blue Shirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers.
Blue Shirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't BS a Ranger fan. Can't BS a Ranger fan. This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Blue Shirt Underground. Today is Monday. It is March 20th. It is the first day of spring. Thank God. My name is Jim, and as always, I'm joined on the other side of the window by the one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening, sir. It is Monday, and you know what that means.
That's right. The New York Rangers scoring more than Burt Reynolds did at the Playboy Mansion way back in 1978. Score goals aplenty. Hey, 19 becomes 20.
20. It
20.
rhymes.
Right. All those years ago, finally scores a goal, Filipino. Gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, I was impressed. Rangers just filling the nets with pucks. Keandre Miller with a big-time game last night comes back. Hot fudge Sunday, as I called yesterday, because it really was Sunday. Get it? Sunday, hot fudge Sunday. Anyway, in other news, the New York Jets, do they have Aaron Rodgers? I keep hearing he's with the team, but is it official? No, it's not. Matt Roberts.
It's not Don Rogers.
Yes, Don Rogers was starting. And by the way, today, Jim.
Mike Rogers is a
Mike
Jet.
Rogers may be playing for the Jets. Jim, to your dismay and all you Giant fans who hate the Jets, I don't think you hate the Jets, but you might dislike their fans. I passed today. Me, Howard Cosell, passed the Jetsmobile. That's right, a van decorated in Jet paraphernalia.
On Long Island?
On Long Island.
I've seen that van. I have pictures of that van.
I know
From
when
either
the van
last
lives.
year or the year before, when Jen and I were on the island to go to Jones Beach. I saw that van and took a picture.
I now know where that man resides, and I will be visiting him and asking for a picture in front of it. But I will not give it up unless you pay me major fish niggles. The Rangers are a juggernaut, a shoo-in for the Stanley Cup. That is not questionable whatsoever. Win, win, win. That's all we do. But then, lowly Joe Pisarcik hands off to Zonka. Fumble! Picked up by Herman Edwards. He runs it in for a touchdown. One of the lowest moments in Giant history. But let's go back. Eli Manning throws a...
Is that it?
There you go. Wow.
Long Beach.
That was
Right by where we went for breakfast, I took that picture.
Wow. Well, Jetmobile, I know where you are now. Then
August 11th,
Eli Manning
2021.
throws the ball up, seemingly uncatchable. But wait a minute. David Tyree with one of the greatest catches in Super Bowl history. Then cut the next year, but who cares about that? The Giants go on to win the Super Bowl. Equal time. There you go.
Look at that vintage piece of felt right there.
Big Blue adding tight ends, doing great in the offseason. We shall see.
I was trying to find a Rangers vintage pennant on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Like $500.
There's a lot of Giant fans out there, man.
No, a Rangers one.
Oh, Rangers.
Yeah, I didn't say anything special.
But you go to an MSG store for that?
Then there's another guy selling one that looks like a dog took a bite out of it. Like, who the hell's going to buy this thing? It's got two big chunks sticking out of it.
I'll look for one at the card shows because sometimes guys are just like, hey, I want to get rid of this. But, Jim, are we sitting on top of Mount Olympus of hockey? Malkin, Evgeny Malkin, has even spoken out as saying that we are the best team in the NHL. How much stock do you put in that mushmouth Rushke's evaluations?
None, but that's okay. None.
Well, he would.
What did he say? There's danger at their lineup is full of danger or something like that.
There a danger. Yes, we are full of dangerous items.
It just took 5 out of 6 points from his team, so that I would expect him to say that.
Yes, I agree.
Now, I'm going to hit you with a. The Rangers set a record last night. Not broke it, set it, established.
Give it to me.
The New York Rangers last night became the first team in NHL history to record shutouts on back-to-back nights, scoring 6 or more goals. And do you know what that means? Do you know what that means, my friends?
Papa John?
That means that the New York Rangers are the only team to have done it in the regular season and the playoffs at the behest of the New York Islanders. In 1994, back-to-back 6-0 shutouts on April 17th and 18th, if my memory serves.
Well, my memory serves, I was up so much in that first period celebrating with my wife after every goal. My sciatica was starting to act up. These last 2 games, Rangers just scoring at will, buckets and buckets. It's raining buckets. But, Jim, will they have anything left when I go Thursday night to Carolina in Raleigh? I'll be there at Fairweather Fan Arena.
Right.
I don't know. They're looking good. I love it. And there's a lot to talk about.
Well, I don't know. You know, that Canes team, they're so dangerous at home, Joe.
Oh, well, I'll
they're
tell you one thing.
Almost unbeatable, Ray Ferraro says.
Well, of course, Ray Ferraro says that. It was begrudgingly. He had to actually shower the Rangers with accolades last night.
Barely.
Ray Ferraro clearly against us.
Right.
Not with us.
All he did was woe his Penguins on that game Saturday night. Oh, injuries. Goaltending. Rig another draft.
You're right.
Rig another draft.
I'm trying to find our good friend TR Nick Adams. Really summed it up well on his page. And I'm trying to find this about his reaction to the fact that Pittsburgh is right now in a quandary. I'm going to try to find that when I got some time here. I'm looking through now and stalling, but I really should. So anyway, he put it about as succinctly as you could about the feelings that I have, and I think most Ranger fans have about the last 15 to 20 years of Ranger nonsense we've had to put up with at the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins. But
right.
I digress.
It's 30 years.
30 years. Yeah. Well, ever since, I guess Mario, but ever since the Crosby Malkin, there were, it feels so good that their guys are like, they're ready for the senior citizens, AARP team.
Right.
And our team is a bunch of young bucks or younger bucks, and Chris Letang has to play 35 minutes a game. I mean, Chris Letang's a good player and that Ranger killer, but he's a defensive liability out there. And at his age, and 3 strokes later, he's not the most.
I said that to Jen the other night. I said 5 minutes ago in the third period, Chris Letang's on the ice. Like, you're down 6-0. How do you put a guy out there who's had 3 strokes or 2 strokes? How do you put this guy on the ice in a 6-0 game?
Right. Didn't understand it. Criminal. Earn your money. Die, old man. Die.
Put Dumoulin in there or something. Ruedel. Come
like
on.
It's like
Give
when
the Rangers, give him a breather, for God's sakes.
It's like when the Rangers had Guy Lafleur and he had retired for 2 years and came back to the Rangers. Like, this guy is like, come on. He's on his last, and he was reasonably good and surprisingly very defensively responsible. Like, Guy Lafleur was never known as a defensive forward. The Rangers had him killing penalties. I remember it's like, die, old man, die. And that's what I had, like the Tang. I don't know. Will Chris Letang be on Strokey in the redhead?
He'd be a good fit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe. Mario's saying that Crosby's checked out. Eyes looked a little bit vacant. I could say that for sure. But there are some people, as Jim brought to my attention, that think the Penguins are still in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
The great Joey Wagner.
The Truth has got it all figured out. He's got the whole schedule in his head.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live check-in on Joey, and some other podcasts that we like to have fun. This is an entertainment program,
right?
And I really don't. I look around, I watch everybody else's programs, as we say on this show, and I find them hysterical, but in the wrong way, like not on purpose. So, oh mercy, Jonathan Riggs with his first Joey Wagner fire.
Mercy.
Oh mercy.
Oh mercy.
Oh God. Anyway,
we might check in on Joey. He is live tonight. We might check in.
Who's Pittsburgh playing tonight?
Ottawa.
Ottawa.
All right.
I've got some addendums I want to make to some statements I've made over the previous shows. As you know, Jim.
Wait. Is that an addendum or an amendment? Is that a combination of an addendum and an amendment?
An addendum?
That's
I guess an addendum. I see. I did my own what do they call it? Malaprop there.
Malaprop.
Yeah, I had one of those removed. The malaprop on my back. But yeah, no, I know what you. Yes, I blended 2 words. Listen, man, the memory. Like I asked my wife the other day. I said, "Well, how much? Like, if I gave you." This is a question for everybody. If I gave you 3-digit numbers, and you got to look at these 3-digit numbers for 1 minute, and had to memorize as many as you could, and then write them down. How many think you could do?
I don't know.
How if I said 134, 139, 181, 176?
134, 139, 189, 176?
Yeah. Okay. You're good. At this point in my life, I only can remember 3 numbers. Okay. And it's gone. So if you get addenduments or dentiments or whatever, this is what's got that's just going to happen. A lot of drugs and a lot of just craziness. Anyway, I'm not going to retract. I'm going to addendamize.
We retract nothing.
Well, I mean, see, I'm not a person that, if I'm wrong or I mischaracterize somebody, I'm going to update my opinion. I'm not a stick in the stone. Like I saw some fucking clown. Now, listen, we all know Keandre Miller has not been playing well. He made that stupid pass. What game was that where he went behind the net and they gave it right to a opposing player and they scored on it?
Yes.
Forget what game was that. Well, Ranger, the whiners were out, the babies were out crying, get rid of him now. Get rid of him. Where are you going to get rid of him? I don't understand. The trading deadline's over. He's not being sent down. Guy winds up versus the Penguins? Okay.
It
And
was
then
one of the Penguins games, yeah. That I know for sure.
Last night, he, again, they were playing basically an AHL team. Let's put it back in our pants about last night's game. I mean, although it was great to see them thrash that team, they had all their stars out. They were playing with guys that don't deserve to be in the NHL. But the Rangers throttled them. They took care of business. Okay? All right. I'm all over the place with this whole thing. Anyway, getting back to what I was going to say. I think I have to give credit to Gord Murphy. We all know who Gord Murphy is. Who's Gord Murphy, ladies and gentlemen? Gord Murphy
coach
is in charge of our defense. And I'm going to tell you, he has done a fantastic job back there because without Ryan Lindgren, the Rangers somehow are not only treading water, they have had a huge rate of success without Lindgren, which is phenomenal. Now,
Ben Harper has played very well these last couple of games.
He's been stellar. Okay. And Mikkola, who I think is not that great. You got to give the guy mad props for stepping in and playing first pairing minutes and being capable. The only downside to that is Adam Fox's offense, other than assists, has dropped off the cliff. Because I think he's not really used to playing with the guy. He may have to be more conservative than usual. He's still piling up the assists. We know that. Yes. Sam went off. He hasn't scored in 12 16 days. Oh, just please, Sam. The voice of doom. Just stop. And so Mikkola, I was given a lot of say, this guy's garbage. He's trash. But once things get back to normal, I think he's going to fit in nicely. Although I still like Ben Harper over him. I still like him in the 6 as over Mikkola. I don't know. Maybe I'm more familiar with Ben Harper's AHL work and NHL work. But, and once they get Lindgren back, and when's he coming back? Easter Day? What day? It was day to day.
All Saints Day.
All Saints Day, St. Joseph's Day. I mean, when is this guy coming back?
Well, that was yesterday.
Oh, St. Joseph's Day. What's that holiday all about anyway?
Not really sure.
The birth of St. Joseph? I don't get it.
I guess.
All I know is
I just know it's big with the Italians, and they were all posting cupcakes all over.
It's like all
social media yesterday. So I'm all about a cupcake holiday.
Yeah, so am I.
Hey,
I thought it was to celebrate the invention of St. Joseph's aspirin.
Could be. Maybe he was the patron saint of cupcakes.
Maybe. See, Mario got it. So yes. So anyway, I got to give credit to Gord Murphy and the crew. When Lindgren comes back, I'm sure it's going to take a couple games to get back in a thing. I'd rather them take their time with him than rush him back. So, and the Rangers continue to impress. I don't think this is I wouldn't say it's not sustainable, because I still think it's sustainable. This fucking lineup up and down is frightening in a good way.
Danger.
And what
so you think they're ramping up? You think they're getting hot? You think they're putting it together?
I mean, the first two lines it's sick. It really is. I mean, and it looks like Gallant, Fester, Fudd, Rickles, Secret Squirrel has figured out
Sniffles.
the lines.
Sniffles.
What?
Sniffles. It's another nickname.
Sniffles, that's
for
another
him.
one. He does that one
Sniffles.
too. Has figured out that he put Kreider with Kane, not because they start with the same last name, but he figures Kreider moves the puck forward. And it looks like that's working. Kreider has been on fire, Jim. I mean, you look at this guy, a month ago, and he's like at 24 goals. Now he's he's sitting at 33 now or something? I mean, he's been rocking. And so now the third line, we just said, like, as I mentioned, Howard mentioned in the opening, Filipino, what a goal, Jim. What'd you think about that goal?
That was highlight reel stuff right there.
Yeah. He's going through everybody like Swiss cheese. It's funny because Patty Duke is calling him beefcake. At the viewing party, I asked Danielle Stewart, upwardly mobile Danielle Stewart, what she thought about casino night. She went to casino night, and the first thing out of her mouth was, Chris Kreider, what a handsome man. So he is a ladies killer. So
he's the hunk.
He's the hunk.
Oh, well, the Rangers last night Instagram video of him walking through the locker room. Not last night, after the Pittsburgh game, him walking through the locker room presenting Igor with the hat, no shirt on. Oh,
no. Really? No shirt on his Instagram.
Oh, Joe.
Wow. I guess he knows when you got it.
Broke the internet.
He blew up the internet, huh?
He broke the internet.
Wow. Well, look, they're fighting over Danielle, and I don't know. Danielle went to casino night, may have made some inroads with Chris.
Could be.
But he's been on fire.
That he has.
And Zabina, I keep saying Zabinajad, but isn't it? Am I saying it wrong? I feel like
Zibanejad.
So
That's
I'm never going
to.
Joe
Tollison says it.
Zibanejad.
Zibanejad.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Rangers goal, his 36th of the season, scored by number 93, Mika Zibanejad.
Oh, very good. Wow. So
he's got a Joe Tollison, by the way, has a Twitter account where basically it's just he does videos of himself making announcements. It's pretty cool to watch. It's one of the more useful Twitter accounts.
So, guys, I'm going to have to apologize for saying Zibanejad. It's in my head. I'm going to try to say Zabana. At the Zabana. The Zabana.
I'm sure everybody says it both ways all the time. I probably say Zibanejad as often as I say Zibanejad. It's just Zibanejad rolls off the tongue easier.
Right. So we, I mean, Jim, I have to know how you guys take it over in Pennsylvania. I mean, there are some Pittsburgh fans, or once were Pittsburgh fans. I think they're starting to kind of lean over to our side. How are you guys dealing with these routes?
Well, they weren't home over the weekend, and I texted them Saturday night and said, I said, Rangers are winning 5-0. And by the time I got the 2 responses from the girls in our group chat, I said, no, wait a minute, 6-0. So,
and how about
they
you
haven't been home, which is good because I was able to, I'm not gonna lie to you. When they play Pittsburgh, it's honestly better when they're not here.
Right.
Because if the Rangers aren't winning, there's just vile things coming out of my mouth. And when they're winning, there's just vile things coming out of my mouth. Instagram, Patty Duke. There's a video.
Oh,
There was
Patty
a
Duke.
picture of Shesterkin with the hat, and then attached to that, like if you swipe over, there's the video of Kreider presenting it to him. Cutter, to answer your question, that is the helmet the Giants wore between 1976 and 1980. In 1981, they removed the white stripes.
Is it the Ron Johnson era, or was that the end of the Ron Johnson era?
No, Ron Johnson was gone by then. This would be the Billy Taylor era, the Joe Pisarcik era, and the early Phil Simms era. Era. Oh,
I'm
boy.
trying to find this. And how about these goaltenders? Unbelievable.
You know, I got to say, as far as these two weekend wins go, and not to mention the other victory over Pittsburgh, I was more impressed by what they did last night than what they did Saturday night against Pittsburgh. I just thought after Saturday night's game, blowing out Pittsburgh, emotional game, rivalry game, Sunday night, Halak in net, I had it in my head that was going to be 2-1, 12 rounds of the shootout, bad game. The Rangers said, fuck you, Jim. We'll show you.
That's right.
I'll show you.
I'll show you.
Third game on 4 nights again. Last night that was very. I was more impressed by what they did last night than what they did Saturday night. Even though the Saturday night win is a bigger win, I think to come back on back-to-back nights, less than 24 hours later, and beat somebody in literally the first 9 minutes of a game, and that game's over. 5-0. I mean, it's 5-0. Nashville's not coming back from that.
No. And I'm on board with you with your pregame kind of like feelings that that this was going to be not the Rangers' best effort after scoring all those goals in the previous game. Again, back to back. Are they really going to have it for Nashville? We've seen this movie before.
Right.
We have,
yeah.
And they put it out of reach early. I felt like they kept the pressure on to the end. I know that they were playing an inferior opponent, but they kept putting the pressure on. Now, it may have been their best 60 minutes of the season, although their opponent, again, I don't want to belabor the point that they were lacking. They told me those goaltenders. Micheletti was telling me how good those goaltenders are. They look terrible, both of them. But
Right.
The Rangers made them look that way. And I was looking for a letdown. Like you said, they get 2 points. They get 1 point. They make 1 point up on Pittsburgh. That's what I was looking at. Like shootout time. They put them away early. They really never buckled. And Halak played a really solid game again. His record continues. I'm waiting for one of those reporters to do that helmet record that you came up with. That's attributed to you, I think, right?
Oh, I need to read. I need to touch that up a little bit now, because now he's added a shutout. I don't remember how long ago I did that and how many times he's played. But yeah, I should redo it. Honestly,
You should. I mean,
keep it updated.
I mean, it is. It's a thing of wonder that he has come up with, and just it's like Georgiev who, we really worried about that in the offseason. And here's the thing, but Nick Adams, who I think is just one of the best writers, out there. I wish I had this acumen for writing. I have it for speaking. You wouldn't know by all the mispronunciations I go to, but I'm more of a vocal dude. And this is what Nick said about the Penguins. And this, to me, summed up, and let's see if it sums up the way you feel and the way our audience feels. There are some teams you don't mind seeing go out to pasture. Then there's the Penguins. Fuck you. Fuck every bullshit flop, every bullshit holding call, every disallowed goal, everything. Fuck you assholes. I can actually wait to watch it happen. I hope you off yourselves in record numbers and stop breeding so your species dies. Penguins fans don't even rate comparison to Devils fans. As close as they are in general constitution, see you next Tuesday, bitches, whiners, complete effing gashes. That was the sash, kids. It's just got handed across the altar, and I will quietly laugh at the bullshit organization low grip it for like 3 decades trying to milk out one more load over Crosby videos. Fucking herbs, and we're done here. Do you think that is a little too vicious, or?
No.
My wife said yeah.
I can say that because the girls aren't here listening.
Right.
Look, look. My feelings on the Pittsburgh Penguins were well documented for many years, long before I met any of the Eberhardt girls. So,
but really, we have been subjected to this.
I must admit, I don't always understand all of Nick's phrasing, but
yeah, I mean, he's got a little Bronx slang he throws in there. He's from the Bronx, so. I mean, Mario says it's not vicious enough.
Not vicious enough. Well,
Hey, we got a lot of hatred for those. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't hate them that much. But we have seen a lot of, as the great Costalatus, who is now, where's he working now this week?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. Oh boy, I wouldn't trust him in there. He's working at Chuck E. Cheese, and agendas, my friend. And
right.
It looks like Pittsburgh, the bell is tolling for them, and
we'll see.
Peter J. Fox says, "This is our time, baby." There it is. Watch Pittsburgh go on a 16-game winning streak. Now, Jim.
Mercy.
Oh, mercy.
Mercy.
Holy. You want to check in and see what that guy's doing? See how much he raised for his.
We'll go. We'll check it out. Let's have our fun first.
All right. Well, I've talked enough for a while.
Our Ranger fun.
I want to know your thoughts, your visions, your takes, if you will, on.
Well, there's not much to be. I mean, there's nothing. You can't even really nitpick what's gone on the last couple of nights. Again, another back-to-back that they pull off successfully. Another 3 games in 4 nights. I don't know how many of these. I mean, they still got a couple more of these before the end of the season too. And this big week, this rivalry week that MSG built up all week, rivalry week, and the Rangers come away with 6 points? No, 7 points.
7.
Right? 7 points in 4 games against Pittsburgh, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think it was.
And don't look now. But
yes,
they're
how
only
far
5
are we behind
points.
now?
They're only 5 points behind those Devils.
I was kind of hoping the Devils would lose last night.
It's the goddamn Lightning, who we just can't catch a break from the Lightning, no matter what it is, whether it's a trade or whether it's in a series against them or whether it's when we need them to beat the goddamn Devils. We cannot catch a break with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
The game was 3-2 last night.
Libor Hayek wasn't enough. They couldn't just go out and beat the Devils for us last night.
But, Joe,
And I know
Devils
they were
got-
only up. I think they were up 1-0 or 2-0, but
it was
still.
3-2 in the third. And I said, oh, all right. And
Well,
Dano.
the Devils scored 3 goals in the second period of that game.
Yeah.
But the Devils are 5 points ahead of the Rangers. Both teams have 12 games remaining, and there's one left against each other.
Oh,
That
Joe.
game is gonna be winning that game in regulation is gonna be absolutely paramount. If you want to finish second, and I'd rather finish second. Wouldn't you rather finish second? What does it matter? No, they'll get the Devils one way or the other, won't they?
Yeah, it'll be second
first
versus
round.
third.
I'd still rather finish second, just to say we beat them at the last week and the last 2 weeks of the season, and we passed them. I still don't think I still don't think the Devils have the goaltending to compete in the playoffs. That's just me.
No, I think most people will agree with you. I mean, and you talk about goaltending.
With the Devils, it's all home ice, Frankie.
And Shesterkin, let's welcome back. You have the welcome back Cotta theme somewhere? Because I love that Chesty was getting physical, punching guys across in front of the net, getting in the game. Who was that idiot? Jeff Carter, was it?
I think it was Jeff Carter, yeah.
Yeah, it was some numbnut who dared to come past the crease. And he gave him a little shove, a little what for? I felt like that was one of his best games of the year. He looked into it. He looked fabulous. He picked up a second shutout of the year, which
Tom said it was Zucker. Maybe it was Zucker.
Oh, Jason Zucker. Yeah, I like to see the goalie get involved. That means he's in the game. I mean, not Jordan Binnington involved where he's hitting people with his blocker and going after Marc-Andre Fleury and doing all kinds of.
And that guy gives up 5 goals in a game, gets thrown out of the game, and he's trying to get the crowd behind him.
Yeah,
like, dude, you just gave up 5 goals.
It's like you're
off the ice.
It's like you're a sieve. Get the hell off
Right.
the ice. Who was the Ranger fighting goalie? Daniel Lacroix, or whatever that guy's name was?
Dan
Remember that? He
Cloutier.
fought on Tampa. He was a goalie. All he did was brawl.
It was Cloutier, wasn't it?
Dan Cloutier. There you go. Lacroix, Cloutier, some French Canadian name. So,
which one did we have on the show? We had Blackburn on the show, right?
Did we?
Yeah, the one
we were
that
supposed to have him. We never did.
No, because he talked. Wasn't Blackburn the one that lived with JD?
Yes.
Because we talked to him about that, and he was the one that had the 2 blockers, right?
Yes.
Because he had okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
JD said he used to put crunchy cereal in front of his daughter's bedrooms, so he would hear Dan Blackburn if he tried to make a move. What the hell? JD, yeah, good parenting, brother. Yes, Dan Cloutier. Thank you. So it's all looking good till it doesn't. Right now.
It's all fun and games until they lose 3 in a row.
Yeah, well, this is what this fan base. They couldn't. The 2 games, the 2 games or Vals were in on Kane. And I still think he's got a little bit ways to go in feeling comfortable with his team. And he's still putting up points.
Right. No, I completely agree with that.
I mean, it's
what's not going to happen. Frankie's telling me it's not going to. What's not going to happen? I don't even know.
Frankie, what's not going to happen? Kane is never going to get it in New York.
Answering a question from a half hour ago. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, it's I wouldn't say that.
3 in a row. Okay. I don't think so either, but it did just happen like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So
it's like every 2 weeks there's a seismic shift in this team.
Oh, well, yeah, if you don't remain calm. I mean, if you're going to go all emotional and go all emo after every game and they disappointed you because they lost and things didn't go to plan. I mean, this is life.
We got no time to remain calm.
Well, semi-calm.
Nobody got time for that.
I'm always looking at the big picture. This is what I want. they just got to stay healthy till the playoffs begin. Because the playoffs is and hopefully there'll be a long run and injuries start to mount up and the nagging injuries. So I'm just hoping they go into it healthy.
Patrick Kane, 3 goals, 4 assists in 9 games as a Ranger, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good. But you know who I really have been impressed
I wish
with?
I could get Kako and Lafreniere to be that unadjusted to being a Ranger.
Yeah. Well, they are still suffering from the same old thing. And I guess for your third line, if they're your third line, if we're just taking them as third liners right now,
Right?
No thought of the future. It's a pretty good third line. I mean, you got a 20-goal score on your third line. You got guys in the teens, the 13s and the 14s, whatever. They forecheck really well.
They do.
They don't know what to do after that to set up anybody, to each other. But as a third line consistent, they're pretty good third line. And with that fourth line playing so well, I mean, can we give it up for VC, Goodrow, and Mott?
Tyler Mott 2.0. The scoring machine, Tyler Mott.
And how about VC making these in between the legs passes and making the smart plays on the penalty kill and Goodrow continues to, and Mott too. They add a point here and there. The fourth line, I mean, you talk about a year ago, the fourth line going into this playoffs. What was the fourth line? Reeves, Gauthier, John Bednarski, Dryden Hunt. Those guys had no chances of even contributing. Let's call it what it was. The other guy, Brodzinski.
Yeah.
I mean, I am knocking those guys because the Rangers are afforded to have some top-end players fill that first 2 lines now. So now those guys who were playing on the first line and second line, like Goodrow and VZ, they're moved to the fourth, and that is a good fourth line.
This is my favorite incarnation of the fourth line.
Really?
In the Gallant era. How's that?
Okay, all right.
I mean, yeah, but we went from, Dryden Hunt and Julian Gauthier, and with an occasional Kravtsov thrown in and a Brodzinski here and there, and now we've got Mott, Beasy, and Goodrow. Reeves, I think you said Reeves. Yeah, I mean,
some people saying best fourth line in the league right now. I really have to take a look.
I don't know. I don't.
I know it works for us.
Right, it works for us. It's not a like I said, it's not a heavy fourth line. It's a fourth line built on speed and skating well, and they're effective. They're effective.
They get a good forecheck going. You want the puck that away in the other team's end.
Right.
And I don't have to see as slow as fucking shit Ryan Reeves out there. I don't have to see these guys that I mean, right now, things are great in Rangerville. Rangers Town, whatever you want to call it. Right now, things are great. I wish
Blue Shirts United. We haven't heard that one in a while.
Oh, yes. Blue Shirts United. For only the cost of a house in Cold Spring Harbor, you can have membership for exclusive content. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention one Vincent Trocheck. He has exceeded all expectations from me.
Well, he's been pretty much exactly what I expected him to be. But what I notice is that the closer they get to the playoffs, he's elevating his game. He's more feisty. He's more chirpy. He's like we said last week, he's second on the team in hits. I just feel like he's starting to elevate his game the closer they get to the playoffs.
But what happened to this guy when we played against him last year? I didn't notice him at all. I think he's elevated by these big guns he's playing with. A lot of these guys, because a lot of times you get a little bit jaded. I know he was on, what was he on? Florida, then he was on Carolina. I mean, Carolina had a pretty good lineup last year. I don't know what line he was on, whatever. But I feel like
he did put up 10 points in 14 games in the playoffs last year. How many of what his numbers were against the Rangers, I couldn't tell you. But I'm just looking at his overall stats from the playoffs last year, 10 points in 14 games.
I mean, again, I know we got problems with his contract and all that, but I'm just going by this year. I'm not looking at long term, just like I'm not looking long term at Barclay Goodrow's 6-year contract. I don't know what's going to look, in 3-4 years. But
he scored 3 goals in the playoffs against the Rangers. He actually scored in Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7.
See? There you go.
So while the team around him was collapsing,
and the fans were exiting the buildings in Game 7.
Right. No Canes fan actually witnessed his goal in Game 7. They already left by then.
His last goal is a Caniac,
and that's true because that's probably pretty true because when he scored, it was that made it 4-1. And there was only about 11 minutes left in the third period. So, yeah, I'm sure a good majority of that wonderful fan base that we hear so much about was already on I-95 heading home or whatever interstate leads out of where their arena is.
Yes, and again, everybody's talking about in the chat room. Yes, the dumb penalties. Yes, could he? There's got to be a flaw in his game. Let's face it. I mean, he wins face-offs. He's hitting this and that. I mean, I think we're just going to have to live with it. Hopefully in the playoffs, nah. I don't want any of that dumb penalties. You got to be unselfish and take it. What did you think of the hit of Malkin on Braden Schneider, in which Sean McDonough miscalled the cross-check and said, oh, Schneider is going for cross-checking Malkin?
Yeah, I don't know what he was watching.
What fucking game was he watching? Really?
I no idea. Hey, Howie.
I hate
I have no idea.
I hate him. You could say Crosby this. Malkin is... And he's one of those guys, once they're losing, talk about checking out. He's lost all interest.
It looked like it. By the way, speaking of Trocheck and taking too many bad penalties, you know who takes more bad penalties than Vinny Trocheck does?
Who?
Barclay Goodrow.
Hey.
And Barclay Goodrow single-handedly killed 2 power plays the other night.
I know.
Right? Oh, here, let me put the man genius puts the 4th line on, just trying to get him a little power play time, and Barclay Goodrow kills both power plays. Not one, but 2 of them.
I love me some Barclay Goodrow.
But he takes a lot of bad penalties, too.
But he does. And you'll see a lot of these guys who chirp and get under the skin. They tend to lose their emotions. And as long as you check yourself in the playoffs, that's when it matters. Because you got to be like a machine out there. You got to take cross checks. You got to take slashes. Even if the ref doesn't call them, you got to be disciplined. Don't lose your discipline out there.
Keep your fucking discipline out here now.
Yeah, don't shit your pants every time Kessel gets the puck.
Right. Hey, Kessel, he's a good player, but don't shit your pants on him.
Yeah,
Keep your fucking discipline here now.
Exactly.
Connor's now weighing in with playoffs or crapshoot. I don't know what the hell that means.
As far as what?
I don't know. he just jumps into the conversation with no context.
I don't know. I think with the hockey playoffs, with every series going 7, every series being best of 7, it's a little harder. Not for it calls for less upsets, big time upsets anyway, unless one team just has a goalie that gets really super hot or something.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
What's up, Burning Up?
I'm burning up. Oh, Earning Up. Earning Up is back. That's certainly true in a long playoff series, and we've seen the Rangers have come back 3-1 many times. A lot. I mean,
quite a few times
since we've been doing this show. I mean, it was on the, turn out the lights, the party's overtime. We were ready. We were queuing that
back-to-back series when they went to the finals. It was back-to-back series, right?
Yeah. And I know we're worried about being too offensive and
I like best of 5 in the first round, Frankie.
I was watching the highlights from the
and then go 7 games for each round.
I know a lot of fans wanted the Rangers to get more gritty. Not Gritty, the mascot, but to get more gritty. But
we get a bottle of water.
They were offered up, and really at a real cheapo discount price, Tarasenko and Kane. And they wind up getting Mikkola, who is, he was the throw-in in that trade. And he has been serviceable while this Lindgren thing has gone down. And so the Rangers didn't get Tanner Jeannot. Well, guess what? Tanner Jeannot's on Tampa. They couldn't beat the Devils last night.
And it took 5 picks to get him.
Yeah. So would I like to see the Rangers have more depth at the grittiness department? Yeah, if somebody goes down on the 4th line. But as the Rangers are putting out a dangerous lineup. I hate to say this because I'm not really ever in this position to say this as a Ranger fan. Rangers got a shitload of goal scorers. And Tarasenko, I can't say enough about this guy. He's defensively responsible, much more than I ever thought. He plays defense. He back checks. He's an excellent passer. I said this in the previous show. And so I certainly so they got guns. They're going to be more of an East-West team, hopefully it continues the way it's continuing, where they're starting off north-south.
I think they're okay in the sandpaper department.
So
they also, of course, the key is keeping guys healthy. Don't forget, the latter part of that Lightning series last year Goodrow was on one leg, wasn't he?
Yeah. And
that's a key piece now. So keeping all these guys healthy.
And I see you mentioning in the chat about Trouba. Talk about a guy who's elevated his game. I don't want to go and praise every Ranger in the roster, but it seems like that's what I'm doing.
Right.
When you win 6-0 and 7-0, what else am I supposed to talk about?
Right, and 4-2.
4-2.
When you take three,
in regulation,
these this rivalry week. Jacob Trouba, he threw that helmet, and then he backed it up. He threw the helmet, said, "Let's fucking go," and it took the team a game, but they got going. But he's been a beast ever since then, an absolute beast.
Where is he in the league in hits and block shots?
Let's see. He has 176 blocked shots. He has 191 hits. Obviously, he leads the Rangers in both of those categories. If you give me a minute, I will try and find the
I'll vamp
where
a
he
minute.
measures up. Let's see.
Now, what has he got? 8 goals? That happened. That happened all of a sudden.
8 goals, 20 assists.
I mean, the assists could be a little bit more, but he doesn't play first power play.
Let's see.
So, what started off as a disastrous season, as you remember the first viewing party when Costa almost had an embolism live.
Right.
Over Trouba's giveaways and his -3, I think he was in that game. I think, and listen, Keandre Miller still, I mean, I'm glad he got first star last night. I want to see him against some stiff competition because he's been mostly, he hasn't really been good. He was struggling right before the spitting incident, and defensively, I like to see him shore up a little bit more. But now these young guys, and I like the way he was trying to get that hat trick last night. He was blasting shots, and I think Mario mentioned it.
Let's see. Okay, I have your answers here. Jacob Trouba is tied for 14th in the league in hits.
How about at a defenseman? I'm sorry to put you on the spot here.
Let's see here. For defenseman, he is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
5th?
2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, he is 5th in the league for defenseman on hits. Block shots, he is 2nd in the league.
Now, if you can go back, I know this is gonna. I'm driving you.
And he's not going to move very far in either category. I'll tell you that much. He's pretty much solidified himself in because Alec Martinez is leading the league with 214 block shots.
Wow,
he's got 40 more than Trouba in 4 less games.
Go back to the hits category, and who's ahead of him in hits, and how many of them? How many out of the defensemen hits?
Luke Shen, Gudis
on Ottawa.
Jeremy,
who's right? What are the teams?
Luke Shen on.
He just got traded to Toronto again.
Yeah. So he's first. He's the league leader in hits.
Who was Luke Shen on before that? He was on somebody bad. Because usually a lot of times defense will get a lot of hits if they're in their own zone a lot.
He was with Vancouver.
Okay, bad.
Right. Radko Gudis is 2nd for defenseman.
Ottawa?
In hits. Florida.
Okay, they're mediocre.
Jeremy Lauzon is 3rd in hits for defenseman with Nashville. And then I'm gonna fuck this name up. Yanni Hakanpää.
That sounds about right.
H&R Puffin stuff.
And who's he with?
He's with Dallas. He's one ahead of Trouba. One hit ahead of Trouba. Now I believe that Trouba is the only. Let me see here. He's I forget what that number was or what that stat was that they threw. I mean, as far as blocks and hits, he's like the only guy with he's got more than 175 block shots and more than 175 hits. He's the only one with that number. Braden McNabb is pretty close in both categories, but Trouba's the only guy with more than 175 block shots and 175 hits. I mean, he's just having a hell of a season.
Yeah. I'm not really saying, I see somebody, Gudis is not mediocre. He plays on a mediocre team is what I'm kind of saying. A lot of times, I don't know. Maybe I'm just speculating, trying to make Trouba even brighter than he is. He works for us. He's a good fit. Now, whether you should be paying this guy, I think it's pretty much answered. I mean, you're paying for a guy he's delivering. He's delivering. And he's your captain. So that's what you want, your captain. So
Absolutely.
now
He leads by example.
Exactly. Now Mario brought up a good point about Gallant, Rickles, Secret Squirrel, Elmer
Sniffles.
Fudd. That whereas the Rangers kind of didn't run up the score against Nashville or Pittsburgh, but you know all well if Pittsburgh was up that lead, they would have run the score up. They would have padded stats.
They have.
I mean, that's their MO.
I can remember a few 9-2 losses to Pittsburgh way back when.
Now, I wanted to ask you and the millions at home, what do you think about
real quick, I remember coming home one time. I think I was at work or something like that, and the Rangers were playing the Penguins. This is late 80s, early 90s. And I had missed the game, and I didn't know who was winning. Of course, there was no internet. I come home, and I flip on the game, and as soon as I flipped on the game, the Rangers scored a goal. And, they're like showing the replay of the goal as they go to commercial. I'm like, oh, great, they just scored. And then the score comes up that I was literally like 9-2 Pittsburgh. I'm like, holy Christ. And I remember Sam saying something like, oh, you can see he's not really celebrating that goal. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the score came up. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. That might have been one of those nights Jan Eriksson was shadowing Mario.
Oh, yeah. I always love that. It's one of my famous lines that I remember. That, and I think it was Ron Lowe, said Jody Hull has to step it up on the power play. Now, Jody Hull was not Brett Hull. He wasn't Bobby Hull. He was, I don't know.
Darryl Hall.
Joke. What?
He was more like Darryl Hall.
He was not an offensive.
It was Darryl Hall.
And I always remember that. And who was the guy who came after? Was it who's the guy who came after Colin Campbell or before Colin Campbell? No, it was Keenan, Colin Campbell,
Muckler.
Tom Webster? When was he?
No, he was Espo. He was Espo. Tom Webster was maybe 86. Muckler, I think, came after Colin Campbell. And then
we had some lame ass coach. God, I can't remember it.
Well,
his quote was, "We'll have it straightened out."
Brian Trottier.
No, not that. I don't even remember that. This guy, what the fuck is his name?
Sure, wasn't Muckler?
No, he came up with the famous "We'll have it straightened out by tax time" quote.
Sounds like something Tom Rennie would have said.
It wasn't Rennie. It was another. Yeah, it was a Dark Years guy.
Was it Alfie Pike? Did Alfie Pike say that?
Pike. I can't remember. Who were the coaches? Could you give me the coaches in the Dark Years?
All right, here you go. We had Emil Francis, Ron Stewart, Fergie, John P. Talbot, Fred Shiro, Craig Patrick, Herb Brooks, Craig Patrick, Ted Sater, Tom Webster, Espo, Michelle Bergeron, Espo, Roger Nielsen, Ron Smith.
Ron Smith, that's the guy.
Before Keenan, Ron Smith.
Okay, we'll have it straightened out by tax time.
Well, he took over for Nielsen when Messier got Roger Nielsen fired.
I used to call that guy Blah Smith. He was the most boring coach I think the Rangers ever had.
No longer with us.
Oh, he's dead, huh?
No longer with us. Nope, he hasn't been for a long time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Hey, Andrew Conforti got it. He was a one-year guy, right?
And, yeah, he was an interim when they fired Nielsen. And then he went to Vancouver, and he was Pat Quinn's assistant when the Rangers played them in the finals.
Oh, yes, that's right. That is right. Wow.
Nielsen wasn't a bad coach.
No.
What are you talking about? Connor, what are you talking about?
Captain Video.
He just didn't agree with the superstar. The superstar didn't like his style.
Did he finish in first place with Roger Nielsen as a coach?
Yeah, they won the President's Trophy with Roger Nielsen, didn't they?
Come on, learn your history. Hang out with Sean McCaff. Learn your history.
I'm pretty sure they won the President's Trophy.
Yes. Ted Sater, the most hated Ranger coach of all time.
Which I don't really. I think the players hated him. I didn't hate it. They had a hell of a run that year with him as coach.
Yeah, but I heard he was a real. Didn't he send down Pierre LaRouche that year and all that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little.
Pierre LaRouche on the Hershey Bears.
Yeah.
But that team had a hell of a playoff run out of nowhere because they only won like 35 games.
Well, they went to the
32.
semis that year and lost to the rookie Patrick Roy, as he was known back then, or Roy, later to be known as Wow. And so,
Yes, the Rangers won the President's Trophy with Roger Nielsen as coach. Oh, he was terrible.
It was terrible, horrible,
terrible.
I wish they had a horrible.
Was Connor even born then?
No, he don't know nothing. What does he know? He's probably drunk again.
Fire Sater and Sather.
Yes. So
Sater was he was a Flyers assistant, I believe, when they hired him.
Yes. I don't understand these guys having opinions on guys that they didn't even witness. Anyway, that's okay. You're learning. It's a learning process.
Right.
I'm glad
we're here to educate.
And also, these guys are gonna. When I'm dead and buried, these guys are still gonna be rooting for this team to win a Stanley Cup. So, God bless. But the Roger Nielsen hockey, as I remember, no. Ted Sater was very defensive minded, as I remember. That was his big thing.
Right.
Ted Sater was a bastard from everybody I've ever talked.
And it's weird. He was a defensive minded coach, and yet that team had 5 30-goal scorers.
Yes.
And Adam Graves had 26 goals. Leach had 22. Sergei Nemchinov scored 30 goals that year. Forgot about that.
Did Leach lead that team in scoring? Was that another year I'm thinking about? 96 maybe.
No, Messier led the team in scoring. Leach was second. I believe that was his first 100-point season, though. Okay. Yes, it was.
So we go down memory lane right now.
That was a great team, and if Adam Graves checks anybody but Mario Lemieux, that's not even a blip on the radar. It's not a penalty. It's not a suspension. The Rangers win that series, and then they win the cup. That little tap on his wrist, on his glove hand, where he went down like he'd been fucking shot from the book depository. Broken hand. Supposedly he had a broken hand, but yet he was back 2 games later.
Yes.
The Rangers would have won the Stanley Cup that year. No doubt in my mind.
Yes. Peter J. Fox, right. He was a sissy. I haven't heard that word in
He was.
Well, he was. He's a faker, just like Crosby. That's the thing. It's some kind of lineage where these guys are fakers. They're down, they're shot. Like Marshall Dillon shot him down in the middle of the...
I used the word sissy on this show.
Yeah?
Not too long ago. I just don't remember who I was referring to. I said it was a sissy move. Or I can't remember what it was now.
Huh.
Within the last year or two. I just don't remember what it was. And that's going to bother me because it was... I said it was a sissy. Somebody made a sissy move or something. Anyway. Anywho.
Yes. All right. You want to switch gears here? Or you want to stay on the fabulous Rangers? How about the power play? I think the power play looks great now.
It's humming.
Penalty kill. They're on a streak.
Penalty kill's been good. Everything's been good though. I mean, I can't find fault with anything they've done the last week. Really can't.
Jim, do you think when we do the show next week that it'll be the same tone, or is it going to be a complete how do you lose to Carolina 2 games in a row? I mean,
Can't believe they lost that fucking. They had a 5-0 lead on the Panthers and they lose 6-5.
Yeah, is it going to be that way? Or I wish I had a time machine and go ahead and find out.
Does anything? I mean, really, at this point, does anything surprise us anymore?
No.
I mean, not really. I mean, we've seen it all. Just the years we've done this show, we've seen everything except the Stanley Cup championship.
I know. Well,
we've seen it all. We've seen them lose playoff series they should never have lost. We've seen them with incredible comebacks in the playoffs and the regular season. We've seen last-second goals. We've seen first 10 seconds. We've been down 2-0 in the first minute of the game. I mean, we've seen it all.
Yeah. It's just you never know. You're right. I shouldn't even really try to be look into the future. I just wait till next week. And, it's just things are going.
Here, Sean's comment. Where is it? There it is. Lose the last 5 games of the regular season, then sweep the first round. That wouldn't surprise me either.
No, it would surprise me. And I'll tell you why. The Rangers don't sweep. The Rangers do not sweep anybody.
Who's the
last
time
they swept somebody?
The Thrashers, right?
The Thrashers, right?
What was that? 06?
The Thrashers have been in existence.
They don't even exist
20
anymore.
years.
Right.
Come on. They beat Danny Heatley and the Thrashers. I mean, I don't know.
Danny Heatley.
D7.
Roger Nielsen was a terrible coach.
Well, listen. They're young. They'll learn. Get one of those Sean McCaff books.
Right.
Well, since I don't have much to add other than the Rangers are great and a shoo-in to win the Stanley Cup, that's all I really have to say. But what about Boston? Listen, Boston, we'll worry about when we get.
They swept the Thrashers in I think 06.
Yeah, 06, 07?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was a sweep.
Yeah, that was a sweep for sure.
I don't think he was terrible in Florida either, did he? Wasn't he coaching Florida when they went to the finals?
Come on, seriously. They went to the finals with Toronto. They beat the Islanders in the semis that year, I think, or the quarter.
I mean, this guy's like one of the winningest coaches of all time. And now this show has been consumed with Roger Nielsen's support.
He's in the Hall of Fame, for Christ's sakes.
Hold on.
Come on, you got to let this Roger Nielsen. Connor, what did Roger Nielsen do to your family or something?
Really?
What's going on here? Captain Video. He was one of the inventors.
Doug McLean was actually their coach when they went to the.
He was a dick.
The first 2 years, their expansion 2 years, their record was not great with Roger Nielsen.
Okay.
But go look at their roster. Nobody on that team scored over 15 goals. What the fuck? It's Scott Mellenby was the 3rd highest scorer on that team. How far are you going to get with that team?
Yeah. Scott Mellenball. Offley is saying that he knew Roger was actually a nice guy. He rented a house.
Thank you, Cutter.
Yes.
Now, 94 versus the Caps was not a sweep, Cutter.
No,
I was there at the game they lost. They lost game 4 in Washington or Landover, Maryland at the Cap Center, the biggest shithole I've ever been to.
I never made it to the Cap Center.
Oh, what a dump. What a dump. And that's all they deserved, their fans. What a dump. I wish they still played there.
What a dump.
What a dump.
I used to like the siren that used to go off when they scored there. It was similar to the Rangers. They used to have the siren too.
By the way, don't forget to click the bell, subscribe to the show. And if you're in our Facebook group, I posted a thing from The Athletic to vote for the best goal song in the NHL. Obviously, we know who it is.
Your source? Been hearing that song a lot lately. I just have bad nightmares about the Cap Center. Like Dennis Baruch scoring goals again, like 5-goal games. Hey, this guy used to kill us. But we dispatched of Washington right after the Islanders in that 94.
Right.
And so
no, it's just it's on the Facebook page. It's a Google Doc. You just vote.
Howie's
you
trying
can
to
rank them.
me
You can rank all the goal songs in the league, but why you'd even give a shit beyond giving the Rangers a 10 here? I knew this was coming.
An oldie but goodie.
You start by shoving your head up your ass. That's how you vote.
Howie's trying to trigger me with the 2 words, John Druce.
John Druce.
Well,
do we want to check in on Joey?
Yeah, let's check in with Joey. He's doing.
Check in on Joey. Hold on. All right.
Let's see what Joey Lewis, Jerry Lewis, Joey Beavis, whatever we're calling this clown. Let's see what he's doing. Joey Wagner live. Hey, John Druce almost put me in a mental institution.
By Ferguson. Race to the rebound, found by Jeff Carter on the right wing side. Down to O'Connor, ricochets back to him. To the blue line, overskated by Letang. Tying it up, keeps it at center. Nope.
Pens are losing.
Keeps going 12.
Nice.
What in the world? 2-on-1 for Ottawa. Stützle chance.
What in the world?
That might have been another goal post, but it did not go in.
Now he's on Twitch too? Was he? He's following us now.
Did Jari get a piece?
Wait, there it is.
Oh, there's the tote.
The tote board, Rosengard.
Joey's fund for the doctorate degree. Let's check in.
Let's check in. How much has he got?
We need a Rosengarten. Give it to me. Where is it? Hold on. Let's check the numbers.
0.0.
Oh,
Joe.
Joey. Oh, Joey.
Oh, Joey.
Tried to
get this
shuffle it
clown
toward the
off.
goal. No one was home. Stretch pass, Ottawa. Breakaway. Kachuk. Jory says no with a right pad.
What the hell is that?
Like I said, it's perfectly okay to make a save when it's a tough chance as Ottawa gets called for ice.
Get him off. I can't stand him.
All right. I can't. He's the cutter of the mirror universe.
He's the evil cutter now.
All he needs is a goatee. He's to be he'd be
funny.
evil mirror cutter.
Oh God.
Johnny, what I say? Johnny.
Oh my God. The guy's actually calls a pretty good game, that kid, whatever that is. Dr. Joey Wagner. His doctorate there. Can't believe he hasn't got any donations yet.
Well, is that copyright infringement? I don't know, because there's a million people doing this where they do their own play-by-play, but they're not actually showing the game.
I think that's within bounds. You're not showing the video. What are you copying?
You can partially hear the game in the background, I think, but I really don't know.
I don't think they're shutting it down. Or Strokey, he's decimating information about the game without. Wow, you memorized that whole of the Used Television Network? You remember that whole disclaimer? Ah, okay. I get you. Our legal department.
Do we cheat him and how?
Wow. So maybe should we try to shut him down or just keep him going?
Our legal department.
Mario Morgado. Esquire.
It's all right. That's in every contract. That's what they call a sanity clause. You can't fool me. There ain't no sanity clause. Well, you win the white carnation.
White carnation.
By the way, I watched several more.
What happened there?
I watched several Marx Brothers movies this weekend.
Oh man, hysterical.
So funny. Just Groucho just walking into a room was funny.
Yes. He's one of those guys that you just would see and he would make you laugh. I don't know how you felt about John Lovitz on SNL, but he was one of those guys I just saw and started laughing. You know,
they're in the Coconuts. They've got the hotel in Florida, and Groucho's trying to sell this land. He's trying to sell these parcels of land to people, and he's showing Chico the map, and he says, over here down by the river, he goes, this is where all the levees are. And Chico says, oh, so that's the Jewish neighborhood? And Groucho says, we're going to pass over that one. Dying. It was so they were so funny. The banter was just fantastic.
A lot of Sean McDonough was drunk for the broadcast the other night.
He may have been.
Could be. Broadcasters have been known to imbibe.
He may have been.
Now, Sean McCaff, I invited you to come on this show and maybe talk about this game. Kind of a Ranger rewind. I don't know. Maybe we'll be featuring this. I sent Jim the link. This is a game from 1966. I believe this. Go ahead.
And what's this other video you put up here? This Fugazi thing.
Well, you want to get to that first? Do you want to go into the more Ranger-oriented comp?
I'll leave it up to you. It's your call.
I would go.
This is your segment.
All right. Well, what would you guys rather have? Serious or funny? Or both? I guess it.
You can vote now in the poll by registering it.
Yeah, registering at poll.com.
Right. Brackets.tournament./Blue Shirt Underground.
I think we go for the fun first.
Pete Fox says go for funny.
Okay, let's go. We got the first funny vote. I think
Sean McCaff says next show he can do it. So do you want to hold that clip one more week?
Okay.
All right.
We'll
give him a mulligan.
Now, I just want to set this up. This goes way back to the playoffs last year. Rangers Penguins. I think I'll set the scenario up as you remember, guys. We were facing Jarry gets hurt. They're putting in Louis Domingue and Casey Smith. And, you know, the Rangers they come way back. They win the series. Well, all during this series, and I am certainly not a fan of Paul Bissonnette. I think he's a douche. I think he just says things to get reactions. I don't think he has valid points in his.
Yeah, he's just a heel.
Yeah, that's what he is. And, you know, the only points.
And when it comes to heels, he's more like the honky tonk man than like, you know, Macho Man or
what was the other
Kevin
guy?
Nash or something, you know.
Who's the guy that did the camel clutch there?
Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik. He was a real heel.
Right.
So, you know, this guy is nasty, whatever. You're better off just ignoring him. He's just trolling Ranger fans again. So he was doing this in the playoffs. And I remember we talked about this a little bit. And he did a couple bits on his Instagram or on that Spitting Chicklets podcast where he's guaranteeing Penguins victories and giving you the money line and slapping Ranger fans around, which I could see, you know, if it was an Islander fan, I would be laughing if I was doing it. I mean, you know, he's just trying to get milk it for all it's worth. Well, he says the Rangers are Fugazi. Now, Fugazi, so that's all I'm going to set you up with, is he says the Rangers are Fugazi. And now, I guess, am I in control of this clip?
I got it.
Okay.
Trying to.
That's good.
Okay. It did look.
All I
couldn't
have
tell if
to
you could.
say is that this guy's a piece of shit. I want all the Ranger fans to understand what this piece of shit just said. First of all,
He's
he
drunk.
doesn't have any of his facts right. Second of all, I'm all fired up right now.
Go
He's drunk.
This guy is a fucking pussy, okay? He's a piece of shit. He just called every Ranger and every Ranger fan a fagoozy. You know what that
Can you pause
means?
this for a
Does
second?
anybody know what fagoozy
Yeah.
means?
Yes.
First of all, this is like Blog Talk Radio quality video here.
Well, I can see Cancy, which is a
Can't see.
can't see. Which is a major upgrade from what they're
I
doing
mean,
now.
Paulie's video. I mean, it looks like he's on a Motorola flip phone, and he's drunk. Oh, he's drunk.
You think he's drunk?
Oh yeah, he's slurring his words. Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
I'm going to tell you. It means he called you a fucking faggot. That's what he called you. That's what Bissonnette just called you, all the Rangers and all the Ranger fans. He called you a fagoozy. I'll play it for you again. I'm going to put it on the page. I'm going to find a way. You need to write this piece of shit and tell him that you're coming for him. I'd love to kick his ass Brooklyn style because a baseball bat wouldn't be good enough.
Oh, my boy Paulie, yeah.
Call me a fagoozy?
All right. This is so wrong on so many levels. First of all, the way he says the derogatory words towards gay people, it's with such hatred, like almost like that's the worst thing you could. Let me tell you, as a Ranger fan, I've been called a lot worse than that.
Right.
You got to have really thin skin to be like, oh my God, he called me gay. Like that, that comes from a place of like real, like it says a lot about Faguzzi. That's what it does.
Hello, Frisco.
I mean, come on. I mean, he doesn't even get the word right. And Cancy's over there clapping like a seal. You get him, Paulie. You get him, big boy. You know, he doesn't even realize what it means. And so what? Paul Bissonnette called the Rangers Fugazi.
Consi looks like he's missing his nurse and his tapioca pudding.
Oh, God. I mean, I really think this was just like the stupidest segment ever on the internet about hockey.
But they did have matching shirts.
Oh, you get it, Paulie. Big boy. Get the hell out of here. I mean, it's, yeah, Fanuc, what's the other word? There's another word too. Fagatini, I think. I mean, there's a lot of slurs there. You know, listen. You know, it's but the fact. I mean, they're just so stupid and ignorant. That's what I can't stand. And I know you're probably like, why are they bringing this up? And I'll say for the 400 millionth time why I'm bringing this up. Because these clowns, Paulie used to be tolerable. But once he leached on to the alumni, his outlook on life and hockey became that of a 60-year-old. Now, I'm 58, but it's all about the Euros. Too many Euros. Who even talks about that anymore? The Euros. That's like from 1980, like when the Euros started taking North Canadian boys' jobs. Or we had to hit the Euros. We had to target the Euros. You got to get over it, boys. It's 40 years ago. It's time to move on. The game has changed. You know, I think Cancy is more in tune to what's going on in the game than Paulie is. Paulie just went. Faguzzi just went like, you know, I'm going to adopt a 70-year-old Ron Breshner's take on the hockey now. I mean, and again, they tried to destroy the show. And that's what I take severe umbrage, to use a big college word, about the whole matter. And I will not, like Jim, holds grudges. When it comes to this show, I will always hold a grudge. That's it. That's it. I protect my own. And I will, if I got to
say what you want about my mother.
Say what you want about my
this
mother.
Show,
this
you don't fuck with this show.
Don't fuck with this show.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of like the Don Cherry attitude. It really is, which is, I mean, I love Don Cherry. I love the suits, but I took him for what he was. He was an old curmudgeon who was just going to bitch about new hockey. And, he was a caricature. But these guys take 7 years off from hockey. They come back. Paulie's got lame take after lame take, and you've got Cansey going.
This is like the Netflix reboot of Paulie and Cansey.
Yeah. Big boy.
It's like Hulu, with a reboot. Oh, we're rebooting one day at a time.
What a dummy. Don't watch their show. I don't want, because I don't want. I don't want any success for the show. I wish them they fail and they quit again. Terrible. I mean, yeah. So anyway, that was my little tribute to the Fugazi, because we have mentioned Fugazi in the past, the Fugazi too, and a lot of viewers don't know what we meant by that, but now they know. So next week,
their last show has 37 views.
Wow.
13 days ago. The show before that had 28 views. Wow.
They're rocking.
Oh, I love the fact that they wear matching shirts for this show.
They're so fucking stupid. You know how much they charge for those shirts?
Who are they? The fucking Beatles? Got to dress alike?
Dude, I'm serious. I got to play this again. Play this again. Can you play this again? All right. Tell me when they're on the screen. I can't see it. And you never will, because they're terrible.
All I have to say is that this guy's a piece of shit.
All right, now, Drunk Paul. You see that shirt that Cansey's wearing?
Yes.
Do you know how much they charge for that shirt?
They sell them, right? They sell them?
Yeah.
What do they get? $25, $30?
$25.
Wow.
A white Hanes shirt with some discount printing thing on it that Paulie got from Long Island because he lived there 30 years ago.
We should get their shirts. We should start wearing the shirts to do the show. They might get 37 viewers.
I don't want to give them any money, though.
Who cares? I just think it'd be funny.
Wow. I mean, I'll give it a break. Give it a break. So you think Paulie's drunk here?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right, enough of that. Sorry about them, guys. I just, when he mentioned the shirts, I had to discuss that. So, I wish we still had Paulie Fugazi, that modeling shoot.
Oh, that was the best. Hold on. What is this?
What's going on now?
What? Hold on. Share screen.
Now, see, this is why he can't see.
You can't see.
I can't see him.
It's Kotze After Dark. It's Up All Night with Kotze. This is how the show starts. Listen to this.
Are we on?
Paulie, tell us everything you know about hockey.
Bang! Welcome to the Instigators Hockey
Oh, I want that puck.
Show.
In a while.
He's over there. That's Chris Katsopoulos, former NHL defenseman, New York Rangers, Hartford Whalers, Toronto Maple Leafs.
There's laundry hanging up in the background there. Kotze just rinsing a few things out. Oh, I can't. I can't. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. We'll be on the air until 11 o'clock tonight, just picking stuff apart.
I'm sorry it's deteriorated to this, but I just find that
it's fascinating.
It is.
Same thing with Joey Wagner. It's fascinating. You know,
like
he's
rubbernecking on hockey
tchotchkes and his puck. Bam! We're on the air.
Hawk merchandise on your 23 view fucking show. Bam! Bam! I mean,
we got one too. This is one that was supposed to come to the viewing party. We always sign these for people, and I already signed it and forgot to bring it. Bam! Like that Jerky Boys. Bam!
I don't know. I'm getting messages already here. What's going on?
Are you?
Let's see. Oh, it's wrestling. I'm sorry. Ricky Otazu messaged me. I was like, I thought it was gonna be like Kotze is watching, but he's not.
This just in from Paul Gaduzzi. Tell Eddie I love his clean-shaven head. You need to rub it for good luck. I wore the BSU radio tee both weekend days, by the way. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Right now, I had it. Yeah, I pretty much had it. The only number I got the 0, not the full baldy, but I like because now it'll grow in. It'll take a couple months to grow in. And
Matt Morello bringing up a good memory. Wait,
what's he brought? Well, I can't see.
It's the Paulie D show.
You love this.
I've overbooked my half-hour broadcast tonight. Everybody that's ever played hockey, Paul.
He's a piece of shit. You know, I'm going to go off. You should write him. Who actually writes, by the way? I'm going to write a letter to
write him a note.
Give me my pen and paper, Christina. I need to write Mr. Bissonette.
This is. I'll give you a very quick background on that story. When Eddie and I, very, very early in our friendship, Eddie still had a Ranger Crisis show, and I still had Blue Shirt Banner. We were still two separate shows at that point. And we were both kind of like showing up on Paulie's show or in his chat room, or he was coming on our shows. We were all like, it was all incestuous. And I was talking to Eddie on the phone one day, and he's like, Paulie's show is kind of like, it's just an unorganized mess. And I said to Eddie, it's like the plate spinning song should play through his whole show. Yeah. And Eddie got a big laugh out of that. Well, the next time Eddie's doing his show, I call in, and Eddie stops me and he goes, "Wait a minute," and he starts playing the plate spinning song, right? And then he just goes, "All right, go ahead. What were you going to say?" And the plate spinning song is playing, and this song will never not make me laugh. And I just lost it. I was crying. I couldn't even speak. It's somewhere in Eddie's Ranger Crisis archives on Blog Talk Radio, you could hear it. And he's playing this song, and I got nothing. I couldn't even talk. I was laughing so hard.
Because his shows would be chock full. He had like 5 guests.
Puck Life. Remember Puck Life? He was sponsored by Puck Life.
And in Florida hockey ball, he's talking about. And he had like 7 guests, and it was only a half-hour show. It was ridiculous.
And everybody's on the air at the same time. Everybody's talking at the same time.
It was now he puts on a show where he can't see half the people, and he's drunk, and he's all I don't know what kind of camera he's using. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So But anyway,
God
bless him.
Always good to check in with them and get a good laugh. And
I got more stuff coming.
Everybody's, yeah. Like I said, we could do 3 hours.
I know you guys are
goofing
really
on them.
Talk about how great the Rangers are. And listen, there's not much more can be said. I mean, right now they are proving everybody wrong. How have the Islanders been doing lately? Have they corrected their ship? Righted the ship?
Yeah, I think they're.
What's the wild card looking like?
The Islanders are right now first place for a wild card. Pittsburgh is 2 points behind them. A couple of the teams chasing the Islanders have games at hand, though. Pittsburgh and Florida are both chasing the Islanders, but both have 2 games at hand. Buffalo is probably out of it. Washington, maybe. Well, actually, Buffalo's got a couple of games at hand, too, so I wouldn't count them out just yet. Ottawa, maybe, but they've kind of tailed off after they were playing well. So it looks like the Islanders will make the playoffs. Much chagrin.
Oh, Carolina. Well, who would you rather play, Carolina or the Devils? Offley is saying that. That's his question.
In the first round? Carolina.
Well, Carolina's lost Svechnikov for the year. Yes. You know, Brady Shea has 15 goals with them. Were we wrong to get rid of Brady Shea?
Good for him. No, because they couldn't have. He had a big contract. They had to move on. They got a first-round pick for him, which, you know, our first-round picks are all money.
Yeah.
They had to clear out his contract. He was making over $5 million a year.
$6 million. I think it was $6 million.
Might have been 6.
I felt like they overpaid him at the time, but he's been pretty good down there.
Good.
He's a good player.
Right.
Debbie, I don't know. I feel like the Rangers, they got to make their bones whoever they play. I don't think there's that much a difference. The Devils would be more aggravating as a fan.
Right. That will just be an absolutely anxiety-filled series for them.
Right. So maybe I bypass.
I will just be so full of angst and my stomach will be in knots the entire series.
Yeah, I agree. And this is now, you know, it's funny how a difference a week makes, because wasn't Dancing Larry Brooks saying that the best team in the metropolitan area, maybe the Rangers weren't in the top 2, that they were the third?
I asked him last night on Twitter if they were still the third best team in the metro area. He didn't answer me. Can you believe that? He ignored me.
How dare he? I think it's a pertinent question, Larry.
It's all right. We know he's watching. We love you, Larry.
We love you, Larry.
Wish you $1 million.
I wish you $1 million. Does he do a podcast on that MSG thing? Bleed Blue?
The Post does a podcast, but I don't think he's on it most of the time. I think he occasionally sits in. I think that's mostly Molly Walker and the other guy at the Post, and I can't think of his name.
Okay.
I can't think of his name. Because there was an episode of that show that I was watching a couple weeks ago, and Larry Brooks was sitting in because Molly couldn't be there.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of who's the lady who does the TNT broadcast or the ESPN Plus broadcasts?
Emily Kaplan, that one.
Why do people hate her? I mean, she asks useless, dumb questions, but that's what every sideline person does. But like, people are getting on her outfit that she's wearing.
Well, she dresses horribly. And 2 weeks ago when they played Boston, everybody went crazy because she was wearing what I called a Starfleet uniform, because it looked exactly like Captain Picard's uniform, but it was Bruins colors, and they're playing the Bruins.
Oh, so we know where her.
So people were, little
And
upset.
then
a little
she
bit.
looked like Holly Hobby the other night with that ruffles and stuff.
Hobby.
Or something like from Little House in the Prairie.
Right.
That you could find at Olson's Mercantile. I mean, I don't know what was going on. Listen, I'm no fashionista, but I saw a lot of comments.
When Jen hears you make a Little House on the Prairie reference, she's gonna go crazy.
That's her
favorite show.
I love Little House on the Prairie, and I love the Waltons. I like the Waltons better than Little House on the Prairie. Little House on the Prairie gets a little crazy, kind of jumps the shark at one point. But I like all those old timey feel good. Everybody's good, not the bastards that permeate this world now. But just don't call me a Faguzzi, all right?
Right.
'Cause I'll go Brooklyn style on you. What is that? A type of pizza? Brooklyn? Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. First of all, I don't want to get personal with Paulie, but I'm pretty sure I could outrun Paulie. And I'm a 58-year-old man with bad knees.
You're deceptively fast, though.
My vertical jump. So I don't know. Who knows what's going on with everybody is getting into these broadcasts as far as they attack the announcers. I mean, is any announcer safe in the Ranger fandom? I mean, is anybody we like? Messier, is that it?
Well, I mean, there's a couple.
Kenny Albert, we like.
Of course, former guest of the show.
But so that's about it, Robin. That's all I got.
All right, 2 games against Carolina this week. Florida, Saturday afternoon, 5:00.
I'll be there Thursday.
You'll be there Thursday. When will you be home? You'll be home for another show next Monday?
Yeah, I'll be home before the weekend.
All right. Well, enjoy your time in Carolina. Will you be seeing the great Mandar?
No, Mandar is not going to be there and is facing excommunication from the group because he lives so close and is not going to be appearing. So
wow, he's facing.
There could be some repercussions for Mandar for not showing up for this.
Wow.
Yeah, but we don't know. And I'm going to go to Fairweather, Raleigh, and don't worry, I'm ready with these fans. I come prepared like Jim goes to a game.
You got your heckle bag ready?
Yep. I got the zingers all loaded, the comebacks, and everything.
Time to go. There's 10 minutes left in the third period.
I may have to have that videoed when I say that.
That would be great.
And so,
take some video, have some fun. There'll be a lot of Ranger fans there.
Yeah, I hope to meet up with some of the Ranger fans down there. I know Steve Schaefer was at the last game I was at. Joe
Happy
Garcia.
birthday to Steve Schaefer. By the way.
Steve Schaefer. Never forget, viewing party. Was it the Molly Wee? The first one? Or second one or somewhere? Oh, the second one was Molly Wee. But the first one in New York, he donated a Lundqvist jersey, didn't he?
Yes, and then another one, I think he donated a Matt Zuccarello jersey.
Yeah, so he's aces in my book.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the all-time greats.
Good dude. Oh, he's also the guy who hooked us up with the guy that we bought our Stanley Cup Finals tickets for when we went to Game 1 in Los Angeles. I got those.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Somebody Steve Schaefer connected us with. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So happy birthday, Steve. I think he's turning 50? Something like that.
50, yes.
He's a tall guy, man.
He is a very, very large, and not fat, just
tall.
Big.
Yes.
All right. A large human being. All right. Anything else? That's it?
That's all I got, really. No, I'm out. That's all I got to say. I can't say no more.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the show on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or all of them. Facebook, check us out. Don't forget to sign up to be a Patreon donor, www.patreon.com/Blue Shirt Underground. See, we should put these all on banners up here, so that you and I are like this,
We're enclosed by ads.
Right.
Yeah.
Eddie, always a pleasure. We'll see you guys next Monday night. Let's go Rangers. Have a good trip to Carolina, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it was a great thank you for all coming out tonight, man. And sharing in the joy of Rangers hockey this week.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next Monday night. Take care. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.